It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, the 27th of November 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to the English edition of Ora News. My name is Alexandra, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. And on to what's making headlines across the country this evening. A devastating earthquake has taken the lives of a number of citizens who were not able to find an escape during the 30 seconds of horror. 2 houses destroyed in Thuman trapped women, men, elderly persons and children under the rubble. A tragic fate has befallen the Tsara family from Mirdita, who were residing in Thumana as a result of the November 26 earthquake. In this now collapsed dwelling, there were 9 members of the families of 2 Tsara brothers, one on the 5th floor, of which now remains only the front door, and the other family on the 1st floor, which no longer exists due to the inertia of the 4 floors above it, which fell onto it. With the help of residents and rescue teams, Albert Tsara was brought out of the rubble alive and was taken to the trauma hospital where he underwent surgery. However, the same story could not be told for Hasan Tsara and Stella Tsara, who were brought out of the ruins of the building. Thanks to the intervention of Greek troops who initially provided oxygen and then injected adrenaline to increase vital parameters, Lindita Tsara managed to emerge from the ruins, which had held her prisoner for more than 10 hours. 5 family members are yet to be found despite ongoing search and rescue operations. Almir, Fatmira, Erisa, Anthi and Sadaya Tsara were also held hostage by the ruins, and it is not yet known whether they have managed to keep their spirits alive or if their fate has been marked by the deadly earthquake. Tragedy also struck the Gregu family in Thuman, where 3 members died. Although rescuers managed to extract son Saimir Gregu alive from the debris on Tuesday, he was badly wounded and later passed away at the trauma hospital. Today, the bodies of parents Pelump and Selika Gregu were also located amongst the ruins, in news that further compounds this tragedy. Mira Tsuka and her 17-year-old son, Sardi Tsuka, are 2 more unfortunate victims of the destruction caused in Thuman. Furthermore, after having recently arrived with family from England, Mikhail Chupi also fell victim to the powerful earthquake. The fate of his father, Hayreddin Chupi, has also yet to be found amongst the ruins and is yet still unknown. After many hours of numerous search and rescue operations, concern remains high for the residents who remain trapped in the ruins of their Thumana buildings. May they be found soon with as many lives spared as possible. Prime Minister Edi Rama met with residents affected by yesterday's earthquake in Durrës. Some citizens offered praise, others criticised for that which has been offered to them after being left homeless due to the seismic destruction. The head of government, accompanied by the acting Foreign Minister of Kosovo, promised the inhabitants that all destroyed houses will be rebuilt before the close of the year 2020. However, leaving in place the toll for travel on the national highway at a time when aid coming from Kosovo for earthquake-prone areas is plentiful appears to be a cause of concern. The acting Foreign Minister for Kosovo states that the Kosovar people are in solidarity with the Albanians, sending rescue teams as well as material and financial aid to their beloved next-door neighbours. Hundreds of citizens of Durrës spent the night in tents yesterday evening, but many complain about the conditions as illness surrounds them. Low temperatures and humidity are also causing problems for citizens sheltered in the makeshift tent camps. The Mayor of Durrës stressed that the tent accommodation is temporary, though many citizens refuse to take refuge in hotels due to fears of further tremors. Durrës is one of the areas most affected by the powerful earthquakes, where mansions, dwellings and hotels were destroyed and casualties have been reported. The government has declared a state of emergency in Durrës and Tirana after a strong earthquake of magnitude 6.4 shook the metropolises in the early hours of Tuesday morning. The declaration came 24 hours after the earthquake hit and was made following a governmental meeting. The Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama explained that the state of emergency has been declared for a period of 30 days. Due to the destruction caused by the powerful earthquake, the national holidays of November 28 and 29 will this year be turned into days of solidarity, whilst today, Wednesday the 27th of November, has been announced as a day of national mourning. Today has been declared a National Day of Mourning. I want to explain that this day, coming just the 2 days before the national holidays, made it impossible for us to officially declare more than one day of mourning, but let it be known that we would have liked to officially recognise 3 days of mourning. It has made it impossible for us to imagine the Albanian flag at anything but half-mast this November 28th and 29th, despite these being days where we remember the honour of our homeland. This year, the two most important days of the Albanian calendar, the 28th and 29th of November, cannot be celebratory days. But with all the necessary solemnity and the necessity not to distract attention from the acute situation, I think they can always be interpreted as 2 days of national solidarity, where the respect for the past they embody is matched by the contribution of everyone who can help, said Prime Minister Edi Rama. Prime Minister Edi Rama explained that anyone who wishes to help earthquake-hit residents can donate online through the e-Albania app. Seismologists say Durrës and Thumana are expected to continue to be affected by further seismic oscillations following the strong blow that hit on November 26th. Seismology expert Lambro Duni told RTV Ora News that oscillations will be continuous, with power ranging from magnitude 3 to 4. Duni appeals to citizens to remain calm as these lower magnitude earthquakes, known as aftershocks, do not pose any significant danger. According to the seismologist, the aftershocks could continue for months, as is normal following an earthquake as powerful as the 6.4 magnitude that rocked our nation in the early hours of yesterday morning. Duni also urges residents affected by the earthquake not to return to their homes until all necessary inspections have been carried out to analyse the condition of the buildings. As of Tuesday, seismic experts have identified 505 seismic shocks that have been felt mostly in the Durrës and Thuman areas. The 6.4 magnitude earthquake that hit Albania has occupied the front pages of the world media. The news agencies Reuters, ANSA, BBC, Euronews, Deutsche Welle, Le Monde and CNN were just some of the major international media organisations that described the scenes of panic and tragedy that followed the intense seismic shocks. World media articles were accompanied by photos of collapsed and toppled buildings. The images of victims' families found in rubble and the mobilisation of rescue forces also accompanied the tragic incident. A detailed map from the US Geological Survey detailed the intensity across Albania, indicating that the earthquake, which occurred at 3:54 a.m. on Tuesday, was intense from the epicentre, with intensity ratings of up to 9 in the Vora area, 8 in the north, 7 in Durrës, Kavaja and Mamuras, and 6 in Tirana, Kamza, Fushkruja and Lushnja. Shocks were reported up to 700 kilometres away from the epicentre in the Serbian town of Novi Sad, in the North Macedonian capital of Skopje, and even in the Italian port towns of Bari and Brindisi. The French news agency spoke to families and victims of victims and the wounded, highlighting the fact that this has been the strongest earthquake of recent decades. International news organisation AFP explains that the Balkans are prone to seismic activity and earthquakes are a frequent phenomenon. The general seismic map depicts the earthquake, which occurred in Albania, as being the strongest of 35 tremors that were reported worldwide last Tuesday morning. Italy, Turkey, Greece and Kosovo have all come together to help with the difficult situation Albania finds itself in during the aftermath of the multiple strong earthquakes. First aid and rescue teams have also arrived from Kosovo following an official request from the Albanian state. Neighbouring countries and allies such as France, Greece, Italy, Turkey, Montenegro, Bulgaria, Serbia and Northern Macedonia have come to the aid of Albania, putting their specialised rescue teams to task. Prime Minister Edi Rama and President Ilir Meta, through official channels, have requested help from neighbours and allies due to the difficulties they face in coping with the emergency centres throughout the country. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Ora News, thank you and good night.